So if you could just find a comfortable either seated or lying down position, either one works for this. You want to feel like you're comfortable, like every part of your body is relaxed. We'll close the eyes as long as you're comfortable with that. And before she starts, we'll just take a couple of breaths. We do want to wake up the breath even before we begin integration. So just once you get settled, take a long inhale through your nose and open your mouth and let that breath fully go. And now continue to take intentional breaths, bringing all of your awareness to how that breath feels going in, what part of the body that breath is reaching, and also make sure you feel like you're emptying it all out at the very end. There's no residuals. We don't want to store any of that in the body. So continue to take a couple of breaths. I'm going to join you with my eyes closed, and I will allow Amanda to take over here.
As you're breathing, see if you can draw the breath in right to the diaphragm, down to the lower part of the belly. And on the exhale, send all the air out through the crown of the head. So you're drawing breath into the belly, and on the exhale, you send it up through the system, up through the top of the head, through the crown. And that's your natural pattern for the next 3 breaths. Drawing air in all the way down to the basin of the belly, and exhaling it out through the top of your head. And in the next few breaths, rather than exhaling through the top of the head, we're going to draw the exhale down through the tailbone. So more of a grounding direction. So on the inhale, drawing it into the belly. And on the exhale, you send it out through the tailbone, down through the floor. In any given moment of stress, you can decide, where do I want to send my exhale to ground myself or to perhaps energize myself? And you can bring all of your awareness now to the belly. See if you can generate a feeling of peace. If you could manufacture this feeling by creating a sense of ease in the belly, softening the muscles. We can generate feeling states. So perhaps we start with peace today before we begin our yoga practice. There are many other states you can try, like joy and radiation, radiance, bliss. Let's start with peace today. What would peace feel like in the belly? Not needing to change the mental state, just the feeling, the body state. If the body were at peace, how would the belly feel? A sense of ease in the muscles, warmth, levity, lightness. We can teach our bodies consciously how to create this emotional state, how to create this body state. We can then learn to master our emotional needs in any given moment. So we're building up the neurocircuitry in the gut to remember, to know to be familiar with a sense of peace that can then be on speed dial for us when we need it. Building that familiarity every time, strengthening the neurocircuitry all throughout the body, remembering, familiarizing with a state of peace. And if you haven't arrived there, that's okay. It's just a practice. We're building up, strengthening those patterns every time. As you begin to feel it, you own it, is now a part of you. It's now a part of your personality, a part of your world. You own it. It's in your toolbox. So with that, we'll see how we can carry this feeling throughout our practice in the more difficult poses, and see if you can recall that feeling, to call back to that real estate you began to build up, to familiarize with, to harmonize with. And with that, we'll see if it's not at a 10 right now, if you can maintain this feeling maybe at a 5 or a 2 throughout the practice and throughout your day. So, lead it back over to Karina to begin our physical practice.
So gently begin to open your eyes if they're still closed, but continue with that passage of breath through the body. Every breath growing that sense of peace that Amanda brought upon us this morning. And why not make that the intention for the practice, the goal today, right? To keep peace in the body, to keep peace in the mind, along with finding some strength in both areas as well. So I will open with one Om today before we start to move. Feel free to join me at home. Take a breath in. Take a deeper inhale through your nose now. And another exhale. Another deep inhale. Full exhale. One more time, deep breath in. And one more giant exhale. Empty it all the way. Just when you think that breath is empty, see if you can push a little bit more breath out. Okay. From here, I'd like to actually start in a child's pose. I'm going to do things a little bit differently today. I've been trying to mirror you. Today, I'm gonna face sideways because I want you to see some of the twists that we're doing and some of the other variations. So today, it's more important to listen to my verbal cues than to try to see what I'm doing. I think I have one more person that's waiting. Give me one sec. Oh, here we go. Perfect. All right, so once you're in child's pose, I want it to be restful at first. So if your head is not comfortably touching the mat underneath you, grab a block, grab a towel, grab something to support it so that we can keep the neck neutral here. Okay, sometimes our hips are too high and then we start to flex through the neck. I want you to feel like that whole neck area is supported and soft, and there's no tension through there. And then for a moment, just rest your hands, your forearms. Feel the upper arms soften. Feel the shoulders begin to soften. Let the ribs kind of rest on your thighs. Feel the tailbone become as heavy as it possibly can. And let the feet and the toes fully relax. You can maybe wiggle them once and then just let them rest. And continue your focus on the breath here. And notice how you feel in this state where everything is relaxed, everything is soft. It's effortless in the moment as we prepare to move, right? Begin to put effort into quieting the mind. Maybe that focus on our intention of peace will be helpful. If you feel like the mind is quite noisy this morning, or if there's still a lot of vivid pictures flowing through it. Use this pose, use your breath to quiet things down. I always like to think of clouds in the sky, right? We see the clouds coming in. Maybe that's your inhale. And then with your exhale, you gently flow the breath, pushing the clouds away, and your sky becomes more and more clear with every breath. Tune into that for the next couple of breaths. Just creating some space internally. You could also bring alive the Ujjayi breath in this morning, where you keep your lips sealed now and you continue to take those deep inhales through the nose, but they also come out through the nose, building a little bit more heat internally. I'd like you to keep your head resting, but now extend your arms and tent your fingertips. So now we're slowly activating the muscles in the fingers, the hands, the forearms, the upper arms, and the shoulders. Just gently. Continue your breath, and you're going to try to place your right hand all the way on top of your left one. Lift your head and look towards both hands now. So you'll feel a little work in the neck here. It's in slight extension, but nothing too severe. Arms are straight. Press the left hand down to the earth and really press the right hand on top of it. Notice if your right hip is coming up. Try to feel like both sits bones are still aiming heavily towards the earth. Separate your hands again and rest your head. Soften everything. Take a long inhale and an equally long exhale. Tent your fingers again. Strengthen the arms, strengthen the shoulders, lift your head and stack your left hand on top of your right hand. Press both palms down, look at your hands. Root down again through both sits bones. Take a breath in and a breath out. Separate your hands now and come into a tabletop position. So you're going to lift your hips up. You can move your blocks away now if they're right underneath you. Slide your hands back now. Traditional tabletop, so wrists are under your shoulders. Knees are under your hips. Do separate your knees as wide as your hips. And now zip up the belly. Feel the ribs moving in towards the belly button. Feel the hip bones moving in towards the belly button. From here, we're going to do a few little bird dogs. Inhale, reach the right arm and the left leg in opposition. Exhale, return them down to the earth. Keep going side to side. I urge you to go in your tempo of breath. So if your breath is a little bit longer than mine, you'll get to hold that extension a bit longer. Or if you're breathing a little bit more quickly, these might go a little quicker for you. That's fine. Just go through your breath. Follow it. Follow the breath now. Every inhale leads you in one direction. Every exhale leads you in the opposite direction. We'll go through just a couple more rounds here. Just that very initial sense of finding your core, finding your center, waking up the muscles in your center, right? And then also a sensation of creating some oppositional energy here. Let's do one more leading with the right hand, one more leading with the left. When we return to hands and knees, tuck your toes into the earth. Try to get onto the balls of the feet. Take a giant breath in. Exhale, lift your knees so the shins parallel the earth. Keep your eyes ahead of your fingertips here. Feel like someone is pulling you from the crown of your head, and now actively reach your tailbone behind you. Grow it long. Feel the ribs come closer to the belly button. Again, the hip bones move closer to the belly button. Hold here, just breathing, feeling the body work. You'll feel the leg muscles, the core, the arms, everything together here. Take one giant breath in, and with your exhale, lift your hips into downward facing dog. Adjust your feet if you need to here. You might want to walk them back a little bit. Just see how this initial downward dog feels. You want to feel like the peak, the apex is your tailbone up high. And then really strongly rooting through your hands here. Pushing away the earth at the same time that you grip it. Look towards your feet. Let the heart open as we hang here for a moment. The heels are going to reach towards the earth. You can keep a slight bend in the knees here. And maybe take a little bit of lateral movement side to side. Shake out your head. Notice if you brought any tension with you along to this downward facing dog. We're going to move through plank and downward dog with breath now. The plank might feel a little bit different because our feet are closer than usual. But inhale, glide forward, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, pike your hips back to downward facing dog, root down your heels. Inhale, forward, plank, gather the belly, eyes ahead of fingers. Exhale, downward dog. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, gliding forward. Exhale, downward dog. 1 more time. Inhale, glide forward. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take a moment here, a breath in, a breath out. Now true plank. Glide forward. This time, once your shoulders are over your wrists, walk your feet back ever so slightly. Create a little bit more length by reaching through your heels. You always have the option here to lower your knees to the earth. And we're just getting a sense of full integration here. The hands again rooting. The arms are strong. Pull the shoulders away from your ears. Really gather the belly here. Legs are strong. Heels are reaching behind you. From here, we're going to inhale. Tap the knees to the earth. Exhale, lift them back into plank. Inhale, knees touch. Exhale, heels reach back. 2 more times. Inhale, the knees touch. Exhale, heels reach. 1 more time. Inhale, knees. Exhale, back to plank. From here, turn to your right side into Vashisthasana side plank. I'd like everyone to bend their knee for this one though. So left knee is on the earth, right leg is long, right arm reaches to the ceiling. Take it over your head and lift the right leg to hover. Hold here, breathing, waking up the sideline of the body. We'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, release that leg, lower the hand to the mat, push up into high plank. Hold your high plank for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, take a giant breath in. Exhale, turn to your left, supported Vashisthasana, bottom knee bends. Reach over your head and lift that top left leg. Holding and breathing again here, another 5, 3, 2. Take a breath in. Big exhale, release the foot and the hand to the earth. Come up to high plank 1 more time. Take a giant breath in. Exhale, low plank. Try to graze your ribs with your arms. Hold your low plank. You can always lower your knees. We're here for 5 today. 4, 3, 2. On 1, melt your heart to the earth. Untuck your toes. Let your head rest for a moment. Slide your hands back just ahead of shoulders. Not right underneath, but just slightly ahead. And then press into the hands, lift the head, the neck, the shoulders, Bhujangasana. We're gonna hold this baby cobra, really pressing into the foundation through your hands. Activate the feet here, press into the earth with the tops of the feet, but reach your tailbone back. See if you can get a little bit more height that way without feeling a deep arch in the low spine. Bring the arms closer to the torso, to the ribs. Look to the left, look to the right. Come back to center. Take a breath. And then exhale, melt yourself all the way back down. Sphinx pose. Bring your elbows under shoulders now. Lift the head, the neck, the shoulders. One more time. Press into the hands, the forearms, shoulders down, shoulder blades together. And then from here, once again, if it's available for you this morning, press into the hands and lift a little higher. Just see where you can go. Keep reaching your tailbone back. Pull the low belly in. Look straight ahead. Take a breath in. And exhale, release it all the way down. We're going to lift up with an inhale to tabletop. With your exhale, right to downward facing dog. Let that settle for a moment. Notice how this downward dog feels. Hopefully you're starting to sense that the body is beginning to open. We're creating that space physically now, right? Still rooting firmly through your hands. See if you can lengthen the arms a little bit more this time. Don't let those shoulders get up to the ears. Listen to the breath. How is the breath feeling now, right? How is the mind space? Is the sky becoming a bit more blue? If it's not quite as clear as you'd like it to be, right, take a deeper breath, right? That sense of peace filling you up. From here, we're gonna inhale, lift the heels high. Exhale, bend the knees, look at your fingertips and walk towards them. Come into a forward fold here. Let the head hang heavily. Feel the tailbone lifting up. Take a bind if you'd like, catching your elbows with your hands. And I love swaying the torso. See if that feels good to you this morning. You can keep the knees a little bit bent, and as you feel like the back of your legs is beginning to open, maybe just gently straighten them a little bit more. Feel like the crown of your head is trying to touch the earth here underneath you. Switch your bind, opposite arm in front, and continue to sway side to side here. We'll take a couple more breaths in movement, and then release the arms. Heel toe your feet together, and then let the head be really heavy here. Start to feel like you're lifting first from the tailbone. Drop your head down, keep looking down, and now rolling up through the tailbone, through the sacrum, through the mid-back, the upper back, finally the neck, and then the head lifts. Good. Take a giant breath at the top. Big inhale, sweep the arms high above you. Look straight ahead though. Press your hands together at the top. Okay, keep reaching up through your fingertips. Now, soften the shoulders, soften the ribs, zip up the belly, soften the knees just slightly. Bring the hands to heart center. Close your eyes just for a moment. Listen to your breath as you prepare to flow. Feeling peace move through your body with every single breath. Take one more long inhale. With your exhale, release your hands, open your eyes, and we're ready for sun salutations from here. Next inhale, sweep the arms high above you. With your exhale, dive, soften your knees, drop the head heavily. Inhale, lifting halfway up, hands to shins. Exhale, step back, high through low plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, or it could be a cobra here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a long, peaceful breath in, and then open up, let that breath fully go. Next inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees, step or float to the front. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, hang your head as you fold. Inhale, rising all the way up, a big lift at the top. Exhale, soften your knees as you fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale through chaturanga to the earth. You can always lower your knees here as well. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. And then open your mouth and let that breath go. I'll watch you flow through one. Inhale, lift the heels high. Exhale, bend your knees, step or float forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hang down. Inhale, rise up. Now feel the heart lift at the top. The gaze now lifts. And exhale, softly fold all the way down. Inhale, lift halfway, hands to shins. Exhale, chaturanga. High, then low. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Excellent. A long breath comes in here. See if with your exhale you can feel the heart open towards the thighs a little bit more. Inhale, lift the tailbone higher. Exhale, root down your heels a little more deeply towards the earth. Another deep breath in and a deep breath out. All right, sun bees. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, bend the knees, step or float to the front. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale to your chair pose here. Flex through the ankles, the knees, the hips. Yes, and I see some of you, one of you using a block. Perfect. If it's feeling tight in the hip area, you don't have to keep your feet together. You can keep them slightly separate here. And now work on reaching the tailbone so you feel a little bit more length through the lower spine. And you create that long line, tailbone to crown of head here. As the arms come alongside you, notice if it's creating any tension in your shoulders. And just bend your elbows a little bit so you soften. Good. Your gaze should be slightly ahead. All right, sometimes we tend to look down or too far forward. Notice how the neck feels. The neck should be soft. Okay, it should be supported. Good. And now just allow yourself to feel the fire of this pose. It's not an easy one, right? Feel roots through your feet. Your toes are working, right? Feel the outer edge of your foot. Feel the heel connect, all right? The shins are awake here, the calves. Lots of thigh here. Inner thigh too. Squeeze them a little closer together. Drop the ribs. Keep the heart open. Take one more breath in. And exhale, fold all the way down. Let that settle. Take a breath in and a breath out. Now inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step back, high through low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll go right into warrior one from here. So you're gonna replace your right hand with your right foot. Left heel dials into the mat. So you have a little angle, about 45 degrees out with the back left foot. And then we try to square the hips gently, right? Without force here. I always walk my right foot way out towards the outer edge of my mat and then my back left foot also, and that helps. Create some space, arms up, heart open. That same lifting up through the crown of your head, but then settling the ribs and pulling the belly together here. All right, taking a breath. Let the shoulders soften as you exhale. We'll take one more inhale. And exhale, send it all the way down through chaturanga. Land the hands, step back high through low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Big exhale, downward dog. Step your left foot through, set up your warrior one on the left side. All right, might need a little more space or a little less. Pay attention and see how this side feels. What will it take to make sure the hips are still staying mobile without overdoing it? Try to create that 90-degree angle in the left knee. Soften the shoulders, soften the ribs. Take a breath in and a breath out. One more inhale, look up. And exhale, send it all the way down, high through low plank. Once again, inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, a giant breath in here. And a full exhale out. Next inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend your knees, step or float forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale to your chair pose. Big exhale as you fold. Let the head be heavy. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, chaturanga, high through low. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Keep breathing out as you step the right foot through. Inhale, warrior one. Big exhale, chaturanga, all the way down. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing, left foot through. Breathe into your warrior one. And breathe out to the earth, high through low, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. We'll flow once more through your sun bee. Next inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees, step or float to the front. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Breathe in. Let the breath go and fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, chaturanga, send it down. Inhale, upward facing. Long exhale, downward facing. Step the right foot through. Inhaling, warrior one. Breath out, chaturanga, high through low. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward. Step the left foot through for an inhale, warrior one. Exhale, down to the earth, high through low. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Excellent. Take 3 or 4 breaths here, right? Let your sun salutations settle into your body. I could feel that the heart rate is probably elevated a little bit. The nervous system is now buzzing. Take it all in. Let's take a breath together here. Long inhale. And then a peaceful exhale. From here, step your right foot forward for a low runner's lunge. If you have your blocks, just keep them nearby. They might be helpful in a bit. Okay. Amanda and I are going to be facing different directions this time. So once you get into that low runner's lunge, take a look at your back foot. I want you to walk it all the way to the outer edge of the mat. Okay, and then from here, lower your left knee, your back knee, and untuck the toes for a second. All right, from here, we're going to take the right hand and reach for that back left foot or ankle. Be gentle. Notice if this bothers your knee a little bit. You can always double up your mat. But look back at the foot as you grab it. Once you have hold of it, and if you can't reach your foot, it's okay. Just keep reaching with your hand. Keep bringing the foot closer to you. But now shift your heart forward towards the front of your mat. We're going to stay here for a little bit, opening up the front of the hip. A variation, if it's available to you, is reaching back with your opposite arm as well and catching the foot or ankle with both hands. Be very careful with the knee that's resting on the mat here if you're able to do that. If you do have a hold of it with both hands, I want you to pull on the foot, but also press your foot into your hands. Now, open the heart, squeeze the shoulder blades gently together, look straight ahead. We'll hold here for a few breaths. You should feel a pretty intense front hip opener in the left side here. Take one more inhale. With your exhale, release your foot. Return to runner's lunge. From runner's lunge, we're going to lift up Anjaneyasana, crescent lunge. So sweeping the arms up now. Keep hugging in the hips. Remember, I always encourage you to stay strong here through your center. I'm heel toeing my right foot towards the outer edge of my mat. You know I like a really wide stance here for stability, so see how you feel. And then sweep your arms above you. Take the palms to touch and twist to your right side. All right, try to keep your torso centered between both of your legs here, and then open up the arms. Let's try to look over the right shoulder. Notice if the breath got choppy here. Sometimes it does. Use the exhale to soften the shoulders and rotate, trying to look towards that back right hand. Let the shoulders settle, the ribs settle. Pull the belly in. See if you can twist a little bit more. Take a breath in, a breath out. Inhale, bring the hands together, face the front of your mat. Let it settle for a second here. We'll take a breath in. Exhale, step your left foot forward. You're going to be in Utkatasana, chair pose. We hold just for a breath in. Exhale the hands to your heart. Inhale, lean forward slightly. Exhale, another twist to your same right side. Try to really use the back of the arm to anchor into the outer right leg. Right. Try to lift the heart and lower the seat. Can you look up towards the sky? Shoulders soften, shoulder blades come together. Hold for a couple breaths here. Pull the belly in a little deeper. See if you can get more rotation. Feel the rib cage open. Let the fire move through you. Take one more breath in. And exhale, fold. Take a breath. Let that breath go. Separate your feet. Slide your hands right under your feet for gorilla pose. All right, Padahastasana. Before we hang, inhale, lift up a little bit, halfway. Now exhale, melt your head down. Shake it out. Keep pressing your feet into your hands, but keep lifting your hands into your feet as well. All right, so you're not fully resting in this fold. You're creating a little bit of energy there. Feel the tailbone lift a little bit higher, opening up the back of the legs. Shake out your head one more time. Yes, very good. All right, release the hands. Heel to the feet together. And we're gonna slowly rise again. Let the head hang down as you feel the tailbone, the sacrum, the low back, the mid back, the upper back, and finally the neck. Look forward. Inhale, sweep the arms high above you. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, chaturanga. Step it all the way back, high through low. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your left foot through for low runner's lunge. I'm gonna face the opposite way. And remember, you can widen your stance here. It'll feel a little bit more stable. We're gonna lower the back right knee. Okay, reach back and try to catch it with your opposite hand. Left hand, right foot. And then return the heart to face the front of the mat here. Remember the variation. You can stay here if this is enough for you, or you can lift the heart, reach with your opposite hand, and then pull into your bum, but also press the foot into the hands. Now, open the heart, drop the shoulders, shoulder blades together, look straight ahead. Sometimes this kind of opening is very sensational. It's kind of tricky, so just let the breath settle you, bringing that sense of peace to a part of the body that might feel a little bit adhesive or closed off today. Be gentle with your knees. Take one more breath in here. Exhale, release that foot. Return your hands to the earth for low runner's lunge. Take a breath in. And exhale, rise up to crescent lunge. All right. Bring those hands together up above your head and begin the rotation to the left this time. So you're rotating over your left leg. We're still trying to keep that body really centered without leaning too much forward here, and then open up the arms. All right. Every breath, right, sends us into a deeper rotation, Maybe we can shift our eyes a little bit more towards that back hand. Let the shoulders soften. They're going to want to rise up to the ears. Take a breath in and out. One more time. Can you rotate a little bit more? Take one more inhale. Exhale back to center. Hands up. They join together at the top. Take a breath in. Exhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Bring your hands together at your heart. Inhale, slightly lean forward. Exhale, twist to your left. Good. Pull that belly in here. And then look at your knees. Try to keep them parallel to each other. Now we drop the seat. We lift the heart. We try to lift the gaze up towards the sky. You already warmed this area up. See if you can feel a little bit more space being created through the rib cage. I know it's fiery on the legs, but we have just a couple more breaths here. Just show up for it this morning. Take one more inhale and exhale, fold. This time separate your feet, but grab onto your big toes with your 2 peace fingers. Inhale, lift halfway, and exhale, fold, Padangustasana. Shake out your head. Pull onto your toes, but press into your fingers at the same time. Arms are strong here. Tailbone lifting. We're not going to be here for long. Take one more breath in. And exhale, release the fingers. Heel toe the feet together. Take a breath in and a breath out. Here we go. Inhale, rising all the way up. Exhale, take a dive right off the bat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale to the earth, chaturanga, high through low. Good luck, Amanda. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Moving right along. Step the right foot through for warrior 1. All right, from warrior 1, take a breath in and exhale, warrior 2, opening up. Take up some more room if you'd like. It feels good to kind of widen your stance in warrior 2. If you can see yourself, sometimes we tend to shift the weight forward, center yourself, flip the palms up, bend the elbows, shoulders soften, and then extend the arms again. Take a few peaceful breaths. Look over the fingertips of your right hand. Now take a breath in and a breath out. Straighten your front leg and start to create your triangle. I always walk my back foot in now because my legs, I widened my stance for warrior 2, narrow it a little bit here. And now keep reaching with your hand, keep pulling back through your hip. You still want a long spine here, and then you can land that hand on the inside of your leg. Send the left hand up to the sky. You are looking up, so slightly tuck your chin towards your chest. Legs are strong here, but they don't need to be completely locked out. So you could always have a little softness in the knee joint. All right. Take a breath in, and with your exhale, rise back up into a warrior 2. From here, we're going to go into half moon. I have blocks with me. If you have them, it's so nice to use them for this pose. So I'm going to grab my block, and the intention here is to lengthen forward. I might scoot back a little bit. Is to lengthen forward just like you did for your triangle. We want to still keep that space in the side ribs. And then with a long spine, you're going to land that block. Send your left hand up to the sky. Flex your back foot. Try to look in the same direction that your heart is opening here. You could always let go of the block, or if you need some support today, keep holding on to it. Take a couple breaths here and just feel everything be integrated. We're going to transition into revolving half moon. We'll bring the hands to the hips and rotate them so that both hips are facing the earth. You're going to switch your block to the opposite side if you have it. And now, You're gonna rotate and send the opposite right hand to the sky. Little rotation here. Keep strong through your back leg. It's gonna be really helpful in this pose. We'll take one more breath in. Exhale, release into a fold. So both feet come together. You can move your block out of the way. Drop your head down. And from here, we're coming into standing splits. So the right leg is going to reach behind you, and then you're going to send it way up and reach the crown of your head towards the earth. So let it become heavy there again. Keep walking your hands closer and closer to that standing leg. You could always turn this into a balance, of course, too, by placing one or both hands onto that standing left leg. See how you feel today. And now what we're going to do is land that back right foot like warrior one, a very narrow warrior one. And we're going to set up for pyramid pose. Lengthen your spine, come up onto the fingertips, take a breath in, and now exhale, melt over your left leg. You could even hold on to it if you'd like. Let the head become heavy. You'll feel a big opening in the back of the left leg this time. Feel the crown of your head getting heavier and heavier with every breath. We'll take an inhale here. With your exhale, release your leg, hands to the earth. Step back into high plank. Take a breath in. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Let that breath go. We'll go right into the other side. So we'll step the left foot through. Rise up into warrior one. From warrior one, take an inhale. And exhale, open up warrior two. Again, take up the space that feels good on this side. Flip the palms, elbows soften, and then we reach. Gaze that soft drishti over the left fingertips. Take a breath in. Exhale, your front leg will straighten. Walk the back foot in and create your triangle on this side. Keep that reach forward first. Remember, we're keeping a long spine here as we release the left hand. That right arm should feel like it's lifting you up, helping you keep the rib cage open, the spine decompressed. The gaze is up, the chin is slightly tucked to protect your neck here. Belly is strong. We have a strong center throughout. Take a breath in. Exhale, rise up, warrior two. All right, let's prep for that Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. So again, if you have your block, it's so nice to use for this. And then keep that same lengthening like you did in your triangle as you very lightly land your block or your hands on the mat. Flex that back foot, strengthen that back leg. Send the top arm to the sky. And again, try to look in the same direction that your heart is opening it. Maybe play with taking the bottom hand off of your support here. To come into revolving half moon, hands come to the hips. Very carefully square them down towards the earth. Move your block so it tracks with your back leg. And then rotate, sending the left hand up to the sky. Take one more breath in. Exhale, release into a fold. You can move your block out of the way. And we'll come into standing splits again, lifting and reaching the left leg back this time. Drop the crown of your head, walk the hands as close to your standing right leg as you can. Take one more breath in here. Exhale, land your back foot like a narrow warrior one. Tent your fingers in front of you. Press into them, lift up halfway. Exhale, pyramid, melting your torso over your front right leg. Shake out your head. Walk your hands close to that right foot or hold on to the back of your right leg. And it's also always possible to come up with options for these poses. Like this is my injured leg, so if you can see my leg is not straight, you can bend your knees whenever you need to in any of these poses. Don't ever feel like it has to be rigid or locked out. Take one more breath in. Exhale it out, hands to the mat, step back into high plank. From high plank, take a breath in. Exhale to your low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Big exhale, downward facing dog. Ooh, take a breath in. Let that breath go. Walk your hands back to meet your feet. So you'll be standing at the back end of your mat. Heel toe the feet together. Roll yourself all the way up to standing. At the top, take a breath. Sweep the arms high. Exhale, bring them to heart center. All right, I'd like to try a variation of Vrikshasana of tree today. So we'll start traditionally. I will mirror you for this one. I think it's easier. So right leg is coming into the left. And remember, you can always put it here on your inner thigh or on the inside of your calf. Just see what feels best this morning. Start with your hands at heart center. And then feel a long neck here. Energy rising up from the crown of your head. Standing so tall, but with a very soft drishti gaze ahead of you, excuse me. Okay, from here, we're gonna bring that right leg behind us, almost like you're in a warrior three. So keep reaching it behind you, and as you do, begin to hinge forward at your hips. Keep the hands at your heart center. If you lose your balance, you can always bring your hands to the earth, but keep that back leg long. Keep reaching it so you're a long line from the crown of your head to the toes of your back foot, and just keep hinging at the hips as long as you possibly can here. Try to get that back leg even higher now than your hips. Hold for a couple of breaths. It's sort of like a little leaning tree here. Take a big inhale, and with your exhale, rise up, bring both feet down. Good. All right, shake out your legs a little bit, shake out your arms, let that side settle, and then we'll come into the other side. So the left leg is anchoring in. Remember to feel both the leg and the foot pressing into each other, not just the foot leaning into the leg here. So everything's strong. Hands at heart center, breath, peaceful breath moving through you. Continue with your breath. Begin to reach that left leg behind you. Lengthen it as if you were doing warrior three. Keep reaching. Begin that hinge at the hips. All right. The leg keeps lifting, the heart keeps coming closer to the earth here. You'll know where you need to pause, and then you can hold there for a couple of breaths, leaning tree. Strong through your foundation, through your roots. Maybe a little bit challenging as your leg flows through the air. Take one more breath in. Exhale, rise up. All right, and I want to shake out the arms and legs first. I want to go really slow into Natarajasana today, okay? So I'm going to turn sideways. First, you're going to reach back and catch the inside of your right foot or your ankle. Now, notice when you do that, your whole body wants to turn to the side. Shift your gaze forward. Square your hips, your shoulders towards the front of your mat. Now we're ready to go. Reach the left arm as you reach the right leg back. and begin that oppositional energy. Let it flow through you. The heart is opening, right? Try to lift that back foot high. Good. Plug the left arm into the shoulder. Good. And then get the heart as close to the earth as you can. Strong foundation in that left leg. Take a breath in and exhale, we rise up. All right. We'll do the other side just that same way. So catch the inside of the foot or ankle first. Square yourself to the front. And then begin the reach in two directions. Taking your time, right? You could always soften that standing leg. The more we lock it out, the harder it is to balance. So just notice all those points. Your foot, your standing leg, your back leg should be strongly pressing back. Your back foot should be lifting. Reach the heart forward. Take one more breath in and exhale, release. Good, shake it out. Take a breath in, sweep the arms high above you. Exhale, release into a fold, and you're at the back edge of your mat. So you're gonna walk your hands forward, come into a high plank here. We're gonna hold this high plank just for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2. Take a breath in. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Big exhale, downward facing dog. All right, we haven't done a flipped dog in a while, so why not go there? So we're gonna take the right leg back and up. First option, just bend your knee, reach that heel towards your bum, and stack your hips on top of each other. Open them up. Okay, option 2 here, of course, flip your dog all the way over, landing that foot, parallel your feet, reach up towards the sky first, and then all the way over your head. Big heart opener here. Peaceful breath. Take one more inhale. Exhale back to high plank. Breath in. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Whew, haven't done that in a while. Take a long inhale and a long exhale. Let's see how it goes on the other side. So we're gonna lift the left leg back and up. It's a 3-legged dog first. Bend the knee, heel towards your bum, stack the hips. See how that feels. And then if possible, you could flip your dog over. Feet are parallel here, so take a look at them. And then lift the heart up. Finally reach it over your head. Take an inhale. Exhale, return back to your high plank. Deep breath in. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breath in and out a few times. Let all of that settle. And I'd like to go right into a little more hip opening from here. You're in a perfect position to go into your half pigeon, so feel free to do that. Start on the right side so we all stay together. You could also do a figure 4 on your back. I've been working just on half lotus, seated. Find your hip opener on the right side, whatever suits you this morning. And we'll just let it settle for a few breaths. It should feel a little bit more at ease today because we have opened the front of the hip already. We've already done some work here to create space, so become very aware of how this feels today in your practice. Okay. And then notice where else in this right side could I bring breath, right? Because that breath is also going to help you create some space. And then just come back to that breath that Amanda initiated for us this morning, right? That peaceful breath. Oftentimes, talk about how this particular area of our body is not only vulnerable, but it takes on a lot, right? We compress into it constantly. So be gentle when you try to open it. Sometimes we really get forceful with it, right? Go slow. Let the breath be the opening part of the process. We'll give it one more inhale and one more exhale. All right, go slow. Begin to come out of the right side. If you're in half pigeon, you could take a three-legged dog like we just did a moment ago. If you're in a half lotus or a figure four, just lengthen both legs, reset them. You can shake them out. And then come into the opposite side. It doesn't have to be the same posture either. If I know for me, half pigeon feels terrible on one side and great on the other. So you could always do a different hip opener on opposite sides. It doesn't have to match. But just notice how this second side feels, what it needs, where the breath needs to go here. And you can envision it. Close your eyes, right? Oh, the outer hip is typically where we feel a lot of what we like to call tension or tightness, right? When you breathe in, and Amanda sent the breath right into your diaphragm, pit of the belly. Now let the breath move further down into that hip. And with the exhale, it softens, right? And it still comes up through the body, out the crown of your head. Take a few more breaths. Gentle breath, gentle opening, no force here. Bringing peace to this side. Let's take one more inhale and a deep exhale. And then we'll slowly move out of our hip opener. Take the stretch that you need, whatever feels good. From here, let's come into one more back bend. Let's do our traditional bridge. Again, if you have blocks, you know I love to use them. I like to align my feet on the outer edges of them, and then I also like to do a supported bridge, so feel free to follow along, or just do what suits you this morning. Do feel that the shoulder blades are relaxed into the earth, sort of that sense of surrender, and that way the heart becomes open, the chin and the gaze are up, even if your eyes are closed. Okay, we want to keep that lift, lots of space between your neck and the mat. As you press into the heels, remember this visual cue that I love to give, right? So we're not just lifting our hips up here. Heels are close to the bum, and now we're peeling first the tailbone, then the sacrum, then the lower part of the spine, then into the middle part of the spine. So we didn't arch anything. We're not extending the spine. We're still creating that length, keeping all that space open through the vertebra that we have accomplished so far in this practice. We're going to keep that space open and decompressed. Feel lots of strength through the back line of your legs, right? The hamstrings, the glutes should be supporting you here. It might feel nice to interlace your hands, get a little bit more of a heart opener. Or again, if you need some support, you can place a block right under your sacrum and just rest for a couple of breaths. And it's hard not to let the chin rest on your chest, but try to have just the roundest part of your skull underneath you, right? So that way you have good alignment through your neck, through your cervical spine. Okay. Bring your hands to your hips now. So the thumbs are sort of supporting the back part of the hip, and send your right leg up to the sky. So you're really anchored into the upper arms here. Keep looking up. Keep pressing into your left foot. See if you can lift a little higher. Hold for a breath. And then lower the right foot down. Let's try that on the left. Lift the left leg to the sky. Let the upper arms press deeply into the earth. Feel the hips rise. Strong right foot here. Reaching up through the toes of your left one. Take a breath and release that foot down. All right, 4 breaths on your own, however you want to finish this bridge. It could be a wheel. See what feels right this morning. When you've completed that 4th breath, join us down on the earth for Supta Baddha Konasana. It'll feel so good after that. Soles of your feet come together. Hand can rest on your belly and on your heart. Let's do that traditional one today since we focused on it when we spoke about the breath. And then notice how the breath feels coming into the heart space, into the solar plexus, moving right down maybe where you opened up that space in the hips. And then the exhale, it returns all the way up through the body, out the crown of your head. Take 2 more breaths. One more big inhale. And exhale. Let everything soften. Let's come into inversion next. The simplest one, but very effective at the same time, is a waterfall. Legs go straight up. I encourage you, though, to have your hips a little higher if you're doing that one. So you can stack them on a block and then send the legs up. And then close your eyes. Okay, if you are feeling more energetic today, you come into shoulder stand, legs up, and then you're going to use your arms to push everything up. And we'll create a line here, ankles to knees to hips to shoulders. Okay, I'm going to try Shirshasana today. Headstand, haven't done it in a while. Just see what inversion feels good. If you have a wall nearby, you could rest your legs on the wall. That is a Viparita Karani, and that feels excellent after all of that work. Just once you arrive, take a couple of breaths. If you want to transition into a completely different inversion, you could. From shoulder stand, you could take it into plow, right? Or from shoulder stand, you could come back to a waterfall. Stay aware of what the body is calling for this morning. When you're ready, slowly come down from your inversion. If you're not on your back, make your way onto your back. I'd just like you to hold on to the back of your thighs, bend your knees, let your legs kind of be floppy. Now roll forward and back a little bit on the spine, maybe 3 or 4 times. And then all the way up to seated we'll go. And we'll take a little forward fold. So this time I want to do it different. We're going to bring the right foot into the left leg. Okay? And we're going to keep the sits bones nice and centered, but we are going to rotate to face the left leg here. Okay? Use your arms to reach and lengthen forward. Keep your eyes forward, and then let the hands land where they may, but don't collapse into this just yet. Shoulders settle here, but spine is long. Okay, notice your sits bones. One of them's probably going to want to rise up. Try to anchor both of them down here. And now allow yourself to fully melt. Let the spine flex, let the head drop, but still anchor down both sits bones. So the whole pelvis is really heavy here. You should feel a little bit of an opening in the upper back hip too, hopefully. Use your hands to walk up your leg, returning to seated, And we'll see how that feels on the other side. Switching legs. Okay. Center your pelvis, but rotate the rib cage, reach the arms, lengthen forward, and then rest your hands where they may land. And now a sense of surrender, melt everything over your right leg. Walk your hands up your leg, come back up to seated. Extend both legs in front of you. And then we're gonna do a reverse table today. So first, bring your feet back closer to your seat. Fingertips will point out for this. They're right behind your hips. Press strongly into your feet. Lift the hips up. Try to get the thighs parallel to the earth here. And then gently release your head back. Take a breath in. Exhale the chin to your heart. Lower your seat down. Extend your legs. Let the arms support you as you roll down. Feel first the tailbone, so we're going opposite now. Then your sacrum. Then your lower spine. Then your mid spine, upper spine, and we rest. Let's take a breath in, extend the arms over your head, get long here. And then exhale, find a restful finishing posture. Maybe give it 1 or 2 more intentional breaths here. But then in order to fully rest, we'll allow the breath to also become automatic. Close your eyes if they're still open, and we rest. Shavasana, be still. Bring your awareness back to your breath slowly. Remember how it felt when that breath turned into a peaceful breath. Let's come back to that. Big inhale, filling up the whole heart space, the whole belly space, all the way moving down into the hips, the legs, all the way into your feet. Let that breath reach every single toe. And then in reverse, empty it all the way out. Feel it grabbing hold of any residuals that have been left behind so that we cleanse the body with this breath, this rhythm of breath, right? All this new peaceful energy comes in as we inhale, and then that breath sweeps everything that's left out, right? So we get lighter and lighter with every moving breath. Roll over onto your right side. We'll pause in fetal posture. Just again, all of the awareness staying on the breath. Right. The mind space, we're going to try to keep it like a blue sky, not letting anything rush back into this sacred space that you've created. Do take a moment to honor yourself, right, for stepping onto your mat. I know it's not the easiest decision to make sometimes, right? So really huge sense of honoring yourself for that, right? For enriching your body, your mind, taking a moment to slow down, even if the minute you step off the mat, right, the chaos begins again. For now, let's rise up to seated. Whatever seat feels comfortable to you. And then close the eyes. Feel the softness in the crown of the head. Hopefully the expression now feels softer, the shoulders. The heart is wide open. Your center. Your whole body is now filled up with that sense of peace. Let's bring the hands together at heart center. And keep your eyes closed. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And we'll finish with an Om once again. Take a breath. Bring your hands right up to your third eye center. Always with love, gratitude, and a very deep respect, we'll complete our practice by bowing to each other. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you so much, everyone. Good job. And thank you to Amanda for gracing us